Have you ever wondered why some people study English for 10 years and still cannot speak it fluently? The answer might surprise you. It is not because they are lazy. It is not because they lack talent. The real reason is much more shocking. They try too hard. Now, let me ask you another question. Do native English speakers try hard when they speak? Of course not. They do not wake up in the morning thinking about grammar rules. They simply live their lives, and English flows out of them as naturally as breathing. They are not more intelligent than you. They just have a completely different relationship with the language. For them, English is not a subject to study. They don't try hard to learn it. They live in it. Yes, you read that correctly. You have been studying English wrong all this time, and the problem is that you care too much about doing it perfectly. Think about it for a moment. When you sit down with your grammar book and force yourself to memorize rules, what happens inside your brain? Your mind becomes tense. Your body feels stressed. This stress is like a thick wall between you and fluency. The harder you push against this wall, the stronger it becomes. This is the great paradox of language learning, and it is why effort is the enemy of fluency. Welcome back to Fluent English with Radio. Today, we want to show you that everything you believe about learning English or any other language through hard work and discipline is wrong. We are not here to tell you to study harder or push yourself more. We will not rely on discipline because discipline could run out easily like a battery. Instead of discipline, we change the way your brain relates to English and turn it into a healthy addiction, something you naturally crave, not something you force yourself to do. And not learning English will make you feel more uncomfortable than learning it. Over the next few minutes, you will discover a set of powerful ideas that will transform the way you learn English. Are you ready? Here are the 15 secrets to speak like a native without breaking a sweat. The foundation of speaking like a native starts with fixing what is broken inside your mind. Most people carry invisible weights when they try to learn English. They feel pressure to be perfect. They fear making mistakes. Our first 5 secrets focus on removing these barriers and installing a new operating system in your brain, one that makes English feel light and enjoyable. Secret 1. Stop studying. Start enjoying. The first secret sounds too simple, but it is the most important one. Stop studying and start enjoying. Notice the difference. Studying means textbooks, homework, and tests. Enjoying means laughter, curiosity, and excitement. Maybe your brain has learned to associate English textbooks with pain. Every time you open a grammar book, your mind remembers all the times you felt confused. This creates a negative loop. The solution is radical. Throw away your textbooks. From now on, only consume English content that makes you smile or feel genuinely curious. Watch English comedy shows. Listen to English music that moves you. Read about topics you actually care about in English. When you enjoy what you are consuming, your brain opens up and the language flows in naturally without any force. Secret 2. Don't be a student. The second secret challenges your identity. Stop being a student. Students get tested and judged. Students worry about mistakes because mistakes mean lower scores. But you are not a student anymore. You are a user of English. Users care about results, not perfection. When you order food at a restaurant, you do not care if your grammar is beautiful. You care if the waiter brings you the correct meal. This shift is incredibly liberating. When you use your phone, do you worry about pressing buttons perfectly? No, you just use it to get things done. Treat English the same way. It is a tool, not a test. Secret 3. Stop when it's fun. The third secret is based on powerful psychology. Stop when it is fun. Most people learn until they are exhausted, then quit feeling tired. This teaches your brain that learning English leads to pain. We will flip this completely. From now on, stop your English practice right in the middle of the most interesting part. Imagine learning English the same way you watch an exciting series. Just when the main character is about to reveal a big secret, pause and walk away. This creates the cliffhanger effect. Your brain hates unfinished stories. Tomorrow, you will not need discipline to come back. You will want to come back because you are curious. Always leave yourself hungry for more. Secret 4. Relax with English. The fourth secret transforms English from stress into comfort. Relax with English. Most people avoid English when they feel tired because they think learning always requires high energy and strong focus. This is backwards because when you do this, your brain automatically learns that English is something exhausting. From now on, English will be your refuge. Make a new rule. Whenever you feel stressed or tired, turn to English, but only the easy and enjoyable kind. This is how you shift your brain from thinking English is tiring to feeling that English is enjoyable, comforting, and even healing. Listen to calm music with English lyrics. Watch funny videos, because your brain needs to learn a new association. English equals relaxation, not stress. Over time, you will naturally reach for English whenever you need a mental break. Secret 5. Celebrate small wins. The fifth secret is about rewarding your brain. Celebrate small wins. Most learners wait until they speak perfectly before feeling proud. This is terrible because your brain runs on dopamine, which is released when you experience small victories. If you never celebrate, your brain loses motivation. Start celebrating tiny improvements. You understand one slang word in a song. Celebrate it. You order coffee in English without translating. Celebrate that too. The celebration can be simple, like smiling to yourself. When your brain gets regular dopamine hits from English, it will crave more naturally. This is how you build a healthy addiction. These 5 mindset secrets are your foundation. Once you stop fighting against your brain and start working with it, everything else becomes easier. And you know what? If you can do this, it means you have just freed yourself from the mental prison that kept you stuck for years. Now that we have reset your mindset, it is time for the next 4 secrets. You may not realize this, but even with the perfect attitude, you will struggle if your environment works against you. That is why these secrets are about redesigning your world so that English surrounds you naturally. Secret 6. Create your English world. The 6th secret is about immersion without traveling. Create your English world. You do not need to move to America or England. You can build a small English-speaking world right where you are. Start with your phone. Change the language settings to English. Do the same with your laptop and tablet. Change your YouTube recommendations by only watching English content. Put English sticky notes on objects around your house. Write refrigerator on your fridge. Write mirror on your bathroom mirror. The goal is to live in English. Everywhere you look, you encounter English. This constant exposure does something magical. Your brain starts to accept English as a normal part of life instead of a foreign subject. Secret 7. Find online friends. The seventh secret is perfect for shy people. Find online friends. Join communities on Reddit, Discord, or Facebook groups that match your interests. Love cooking. Join an international cooking group. Passionate about video games. Find a gaming community where people chat in English. The beauty of online communities is that you can start as a silent observer. Just reading comments is already valuable practice. You see how real people actually use English in casual situations. You learn slang and natural expressions that textbooks never teach. When you feel ready, start participating. Write a comment. Share your opinion. The pressure is much lower than speaking face-to-face. Secret 8. 15 minutes a day. The eighth secret destroys the biggest excuse. 15 minutes a day. Everyone claims they are too busy, but this is not true. You are just trying to do too much at once. The solution is to make practice so small it feels effortless. 15 minutes is all you need. Split those 15 minutes into 3 tiny chunks. Spend 5 minutes listening to English while waiting for the bus. Spend 5 minutes watching a short video while eating breakfast. Spend 5 minutes reading before you sleep. These micro sessions keep English constantly present without ever feeling like a burden. No one is too busy to find 3 gaps of 5 minutes. 15 minutes every single day adds up to 90 hours per year. Secret 9. It's okay to make mistakes. The 9th secret liberates you from fear. It is okay to make mistakes. In fact, mistakes are essential. Every mistake is valuable data that helps your brain learn faster. The problem is that most learners treat mistakes like failures. They feel embarrassed and start avoiding speaking. This is backwards. The goal should be to make as many mistakes as possible because each mistake moves you closer to fluency. Try this challenge. Set a goal to make at least 5 mistakes in English every day. Speak quickly without worrying about grammar. The faster you make mistakes, the faster you learn. Native speakers make mistakes too in casual speech. They just keep talking. You should do the same. Your environment is now working for you instead of against you. English is no longer something you chase. It simply exists all around you, waiting for you to notice it. With the right mindset and environment, you are ready for the final secrets. These 6 techniques will help you produce English naturally, transforming you from someone who understands English into someone who speaks it like a native. Secret 10. Talk to yourself. The 10th secret is one of the most effective fluency builders. Talk to yourself. When you are alone, speak English out loud. Have conversations with yourself in the shower, in front of the mirror, while cooking dinner. When you talk to yourself, there is zero pressure. Nobody is listening or judging. This creates the safest possible environment for your mouth and brain to practice working together. Speaking is a physical skill. Your mouth muscles need to learn how to move quickly. When you talk to yourself every day, you train these skills in a stress-free way. Start with simple narration. Say, "I am making coffee now. I am pouring water." As you get comfortable, have more complex conversations. Secret 11. Connect English to emotions. The 11th secret taps into the most powerful memory system, Connect English to emotions. Your brain remembers emotional experiences far better than neutral information. Most learners try to memorize vocabulary through repetition. This is weak. Instead, use English to express your real feelings. Keep a diary in English where you write about things that made you angry, sad, or happy. When something frustrates you, complain in English. Use English to express your dreams and worries. When language connects to emotion, it moves into your long-term memory. You will never forget the English words you used to describe your heartbreak because those words are tied to powerful feelings. Stop writing sample essays. Start using English to capture your real life. Secret 12. Act like a native. The 12th secret uses a psychological technique. Act like a native. Give yourself permission to become a slightly different person when you speak English. Many learners feel awkward because English does not match their personality. But here is a reframe. When you speak a different language, you are allowed to have a different personality. Create an English version of yourself. This English version is more confident and outgoing. When you switch to English, you switch to this character. Stand differently. Use different gestures. Smile more. At first, it will feel like pretending, but that is okay. Fake it until you make it is a real psychological principle. When you act confident, your brain eventually believes you are confident. Secret 13. Stop translating in your head. The 13th secret may be difficult for you to practice at first, but it is essential. Stop translating in your head. Right now, when you see an object, your brain probably thinks in your native language, then translates to English, then speaks. This translation step is exhausting. The goal is to think directly in English. How? Start with simple objects around you. When you see a table, do not let your brain say the word in your native language first. Train it to jump straight to the English word table. Throughout your day, point at objects and name them in English instantly. Describe your actions as you do them. Over time, your brain builds direct pathways. The translation step disappears. Speaking English suddenly feels much less tiring. Secret 14. Copy native speakers. The 14th secret is the fastest path to sounding natural. Copy native speakers. Many learners try to create their own English from scratch using grammar rules. This is hard. The easy way is to find someone who already speaks the way you want to speak. Then copy everything. Choose one person as your model. It could be an actor, a YouTuber, or a podcast host. Then study them. Listen to how they pause between words. Notice their rhythm and melody. Pay attention to which words they emphasize. Then imitate all of it. Listen to a sentence, pause the video, and repeat it exactly the way they said it. This method works because language is learned through imitation. Children do not learn by studying grammar. They copy adults. You should do the same. Secret 15. Make English your lifestyle. The 15th and final secret is the ultimate goal. Make English your lifestyle. Stop looking for time to study English. Stop treating it as a separate activity. Instead, weave English into everything you already do. Listen to English podcasts while washing dishes. Watch English videos while exercising. Read English articles while eating breakfast. The magic happens when English stops being something you do and becomes something you are. You are not an English learner anymore. You are simply a person who lives partly in English. This shift removes the concept of effort. You are just living your life, and English is the soundtrack. This is exactly how native speakers exist. When you reach this level, fluency becomes inevitable. These 6 final secrets are the bridge between understanding English and speaking it fluently. With consistent practice, your mouth will move as naturally as your mind thinks, and English will become your second voice. You have now discovered all 15 secrets to speaking English like a native without exhausting yourself. These secrets work because they align with how your brain naturally learns. Remember, the people who become fluent are not the ones who try the hardest. They are the ones who make English feel so natural and enjoyable that it becomes addictive. Think about what you have learned today. You do not need perfect grammar. You do not need expensive courses or years of classroom time. You just need to shift your mindset, redesign your environment, and use practical techniques that turn English into a healthy habit. The transformation happens when you stop forcing yourself and start allowing yourself to enjoy. Which smart, lazy English learning secret do you like the most? Comment below to let me know. Before you go, I want to leave you with one final thought. Stop learning English. Start living it. When you make that shift from learner to liver, from student to user, from someone who studies the language to someone who simply exists in it, that is when the magic happens. That is when fluency stops being a distant dream and becomes your daily reality. Thank you for spending this time with us today. We will see you in the next episode of Fluent English with Radio.
5 months ago, I sat in a job interview in New York and I couldn't finish one sentence in English. My dream job was right there in front of me, but I lost it because I couldn't speak. Today, I work for that same company. I speak English every day. I earn $8,000 a month, and I'm living the life I always dreamed about. Welcome to Fluent English with Radio, where inspiring stories help you grow and learn real English. My name is Diego. I'm 28 years old, from Mexico. I'm a marketing specialist. But 5 months ago, my English was so bad that nobody wanted to hire me. I realized my problem wasn't my skills. My problem was my English. So I made a promise to myself. If I can sell brands, I can sell myself. But first, I must learn English. Today, I'm going to share everything I did, every method, every mistake, every lesson. This is not theory. This is what actually worked for me. If you're tired of studying English but never speaking it, this story is for you. If you feel stuck, this story is for you. So let's go back to the beginning. Because my journey did not start with motivation. It started with a big failure that changed my life. The moment that changed everything. I always wanted to work for an international company. My dream job was to be a marketing specialist at a big company in New York. I loved marketing. I was good at it. And I worked day and night to become the best. Finally, after years of hard work, I got my chance. I applied for a huge company in the US. The recruiter emailed me. "Congratulations, Diego. You are selected for an interview." I was so excited. I imagined my life in a new country, earning a big salary, working with the best people in the world. But then the interview happened. I remember it like it was yesterday. I opened Zoom, and there were 3 interviewers. all Americans, all native English speakers. They started speaking, and I felt like someone had pressed fast forward on their voices. I could not understand anything. They asked me the first question. Diego, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your experience in marketing? I panicked. I knew the answer in my head, but the words would not come out. I said, yes, I am, marketing. I do, uh, many projects. Good. I am very good. They looked at me. The silence felt like a knife in my stomach. They asked another question, but I could not answer that either. My mind was blank. My hands were shaking. I wanted to disappear. In the end, one of them smiled politely and said, "All right, Diego. Thank you for your time." I knew what that meant. I had failed. I did not get the job. Not because I was not good enough at marketing, but because I could not speak English. That day, I understood the power of English. It was not just a language, it was the key to my dream. But at that moment, I didn't have that key. I did not have that key. I felt ashamed, embarrassed, angry at myself. For years, I told myself, I don't need English. I'll just be good at my job, and that'll be enough. But at that moment, I saw the truth. Without English, I was invisible. That night, I sat alone in my apartment. I did not eat. I did not watch TV. I just sat there, thinking, and then I made a decision. I would learn English, and I would learn it fast. I told myself, if I can sell brands, I can sell myself. But first, I must learn English. That was the moment everything changed, because I realized failure is feedback. Every failure is a map that shows you exactly what you need to change. That interview was not the end. It was the beginning. Why I didn't take expensive classes. Most people, when they start learning English, they do one thing first. They pay for expensive courses. But I did not do that. Why? Because I had already tried them before, and they did not work. A year ago, I paid for an online English class, 3 times a week for 3 months. The teacher made me memorize vocabulary lists, animals, colors, food. We did grammar exercises. Fill in the blanks. Choose the correct answer. We listened to the teacher explain rules. This is present perfect. This is past simple. This is conditional. I took notes. I understood the rules when she explained them. But after 3 months, when I tried to have a real conversation, I still could not speak. Why? Because everything in that class was theory. It was safe. It was controlled. It was not real. Real conversations don't come from books. Real people speak fast. They use casual language. They don't wait for you to translate in your head. They just talk. And I realized I don't need more rules. I need real communication. So I stopped going to that class. Not because the teacher was bad, not because the school was bad, but because that method was not going to help me reach my goal. I needed something different. I needed to speak every day. I needed to make mistakes. I needed to practice in real, uncomfortable situations. That's where real learning happens. So I created my own system. A system based on one simple idea. Fluency comes from use, not from rules. You don't become fluent by studying grammar. You become fluent by speaking, by listening, by using English in your daily life. That's what I did for the next 5 months, and that's what I'm going to share with you now, step by step. Part 1. The first 15 days. The biggest mistake that beginners make is that they think they need more words. I thought the same. I thought, if I learn 1,000 words, I will speak fluently. But the truth is, I already knew hundreds of words, yet I still could not speak. So for the first 15 days, I did not study any new words. Instead, I did something much more powerful. I started learning how to use the words I already knew. 1. My survival sentence list. I sat down and thought, what do I actually need to say every day? I wrote 50 simple sentences that I needed in real life. For example, hi, how are you? Can you repeat that? I don't understand. I am learning English. I need a coffee, please. Where is the bathroom? How much is this? Thank you very much. And more questions like these. Every morning, right after I woke up, I read these sentences out loud, not once, not twice, 10 times each. At first, my tongue felt slow. The words felt strange in my mouth, but I kept going. After 5 days, something amazing happened. These sentences became automatic. When I needed them, they just came out. No thinking, no translating. They were ready. This is the power of repetition. Repetition builds confidence. You don't build confidence by knowing a lot of things. You build confidence by knowing a few things really, really well. 2. Speaking to myself. This is one of the most powerful things I did, and it's also one of the strangest. I started talking to myself in English, all day long, whenever I was alone. When I was in the shower, I said, I am taking a shower. The water is warm. It feels nice. When I made breakfast, I said, I am making eggs. I like eggs. They are easy to cook. When I walked to work, I said, the weather is nice today. The sun is shining. I feel good. At first, I felt really stupid. My roommate heard me once and asked, Diego, are you okay? Who are you talking to? I laughed and said, I'm just practicing English. But I didn't care what people thought. This was my private classroom. No one could judge me. No one could laugh at me. I could make all the mistakes I wanted. In just 1 week, something incredible happened. My brain started thinking in English, not all the time, but sometimes. Small moments where English words came first, before Spanish words. This is the mindset. Private practice equals zero fear. When you practice alone, there's no pressure, no embarrassment, no fear of making mistakes. That's where real learning happens. 3rd copy emotion method. Every day, I watched one short video on YouTube. Could be anything, a movie clip, a vlog, a speech. But I did something different. I didn't just watch. I chose 5 sentences from that video. Sentences with emotion, with energy. Then I practiced saying them exactly like the speaker. Same speed, same tone, same feeling. For example, from a movie, I practiced, I can't believe this is happening. I didn't just say the words. I said them with surprise, with shock, with emotion. I became an actor. I repeated it 10 times. I can't believe this is happening. Each time I tried to match the energy, the rhythm, the emotion of the original speaker. Why did this work? Because English isn't just words, it's rhythm, it's melody, it's feeling. When you copy the emotion, you copy the natural sound of English. This is the mindset. Don't copy words, copy energy. After 15 days of practice, 3 big things changed. First, I stopped translating in my head. The English words just came out naturally. Second, my speaking became more natural. It had rhythm. It had flow. Third, I felt more confident. I wasn't scared to open my mouth anymore. Was I fluent after 15 days? Number: absolutely not. But I did something more important. I broke my fear of speaking. Before, when someone spoke to me in English, I would freeze. I would panic. Now, I had automatic responses. I could say something, even if it was simple, even if it wasn't perfect. And that's the most important first step. Part 2. Real practice begins. After those first 15 days, I had some confidence. Not a lot, but enough. Now it was time to actually build my speaking skills. 1. Question-answer method. I realized something important. When I tried to speak English, my brain was slow. I knew words, but I could not put them together quickly. I needed a way to make speaking feel natural and automatic. So I started using the question-answer method. This method is simple but powerful. Step 1. I asked myself a simple question in English. Step 2. I answered it immediately. Step 3. I repeated the process, but each time I added more information. For example, question: what did you do today? At first, my answer was very short. I worked, but then I forced myself to say more. I worked on a campaign. I worked on a new campaign for a coffee brand. I worked on a new campaign for a coffee brand, and it was really exciting. See what happened? Each answer got longer, more detailed, more natural. I did this every single day for at least 30 minutes. My speaking speed improved dramatically. My sentences became longer, and I stopped translating in my head. This is the mindset. Progress, not perfection. You don't need to speak perfectly. You just need to speak a little bit better than yesterday. 2. Echo technique. One of my biggest problems was pronunciation. Even when I spoke English, I still sounded like a foreigner. Native speakers could understand me, but my accent was very strong, so I used the echo technique. Here's how it works. I found a short video of a native speaker. I listened to one sentence. I paused the video. I repeated that sentence exactly the same way, same speed, same tone, same emotion. I listened again and compared. I repeated until it sounded close. For example, from a movie. I don't know what you're talking about. I paused and repeated it. At first, it sounded nothing like the original, but I kept trying. I repeated it 10 times, 20 times, until it started to sound similar. I did this every single day for 30 minutes. After 1 month, something incredible happened. A native English speaker told me, "Diego, your English sounds really natural." I was shocked. My grammar still had mistakes, but somehow I sounded natural. Why? Because I wasn't trying to be perfect. I was trying to sound like a real person. This is the mindset. Sound native, not perfect. Third story. Method. I stopped learning vocabulary from lists, because lists don't work. You memorize the words today and forget them tomorrow. Instead, I learned words through stories. Every day, I chose 5 new words. I created a short story using all 5 words. Then I read that story out loud 10 times. For example, new words: excited, campaign, deadline, client, success. My story. Yesterday, I was very excited because our new campaign finally launched. We worked really hard to meet the deadline. This morning, the client called and said it was a huge success. Why does this work? Because your brain remembers stories, not lists. When you put words in a story, in a context, they stick in your memory. I did this every single day. After 1 month, I had learned over 150 new words, and I actually remembered them. This is the mindset. Words live in stories. 4. Think in English. This was difficult at first, but it changed everything. I started describing everything around me in English, sometimes in my head, sometimes out loud when I was alone. When I saw a dog, "That dog is cute. It's brown and white. It looks happy." When I drank coffee, "This coffee is strong today. I like it. It wakes me up." When I felt tired, "I'm tired today. I didn't sleep well. I need more rest." I also started writing a journal every night, just 5 to 10 minutes, in English, about my day. At first, my writing was very simple, but after 1 month, my writing became more natural. After 3 weeks, I started dreaming in English, not every night, but sometimes. And I knew then, my brain was starting to work in English. This is the mindset. Input leads to thinking. Thinking leads to output. If you want to speak fluently, you need to think in English. 5. The 2-hour rule. This was my most important rule. Every day I must speak English for at least 2 hours. No excuses. If I had no one to talk to, I talked to myself. If I didn't have time, I spoke while washing dishes, walking, cooking. If I felt lazy, I reminded myself, English is not a subject. English is my future. This rule forced me to be consistent. Some days I felt motivated, some days I didn't. But the rule didn't care about my feelings. 2 hours, every day, no exceptions. And consistency is what creates results. Not motivation, not inspiration, consistency. After 2 months of daily practice, I could have basic conversations without freezing. I could understand most of what native speakers said. I could express my ideas clearly enough. I could think in English for short moments. I felt confident opening my mouth. Was I fluent? Not yet. But I was communicating, and communication is the real goal. Part 3. Final breakthrough. By month 3, I was speaking, but I still had problems. My grammar was messy. I felt nervous with native speakers. So I focused on 3 final areas. 1. Natural grammar. I stopped studying grammar from textbooks. Instead, I learned grammar naturally by noticing patterns. For example, I noticed native speakers often say, "I've been learning English for 5 months." But in school, I learned, "I am learning English for 5 months." Why the difference? I didn't open a grammar book. I just listened more carefully. I noticed when people used each form, and slowly I understood. I am learning means right now, at this moment. I've been learning means I started in the past and I'm still doing it. See? I learned by observing, not by memorizing rules. Another example, prepositions. Why on the train but in the car? Why at night but in the morning? I stopped trying to memorize rules. I just noticed how native speakers used these words. I listened to podcasts, I read articles, I paid attention, and slowly it started to feel natural. I kept a small notebook. Whenever I heard something confusing, I wrote it down with examples. Over time, patterns emerged, and I started using grammar correctly without thinking. This is the mindset. Grammar is caught, not taught. You learn it by seeing and hearing it so many times that it becomes automatic. 2. Shadowing. This technique became my most powerful tool. I found videos of native speakers having real conversations, not formal speeches, just real people talking naturally. I put on headphones and spoke along with them at the exact same time, word for word, sound for sound. At first it was impossible. I couldn't keep up, but I kept trying, 15 to 20 minutes every day. After a few weeks, something magical happened. My mouth got faster, my pronunciation got clearer, my rhythm became natural. I started to sound like a real English speaker. This is the mindset. Speak like music, not like a robot. As I have mentioned before, English has rhythm. When you shadow native speakers, you learn that rhythm naturally. 3. Overcoming fear. Even after 3 months, I was still scared to speak with native speakers. Every time I opened my mouth, my mind went blank. I kept thinking, what if they don't understand me? What if I say something wrong? What if they laugh? That fear held me back more than any grammar mistake ever could. But one day, something changed. I was sitting in a small coffee shop and 2 tourists asked me for directions. My heart started racing, but I decided to try. My voice trembled. My words came out slowly, but I made it through the sentence, and they smiled. They said, "Thank you. Your English is great." So I made a promise to myself, no more hiding behind fear. I joined online conversation groups. I went to language exchange meetups. I talked to tourists in coffee shops. The first few times were terrifying. My heart was beating so fast, my hands were shaking. But people were kind. They listened patiently. They helped me. They encouraged me. And every time I spoke, it got easier. The fear got smaller. The confidence got bigger. This is the mindset. Courage before accuracy. Speak first. Make mistakes. Learn. Correct later. 4. Talking to native speakers. This was my biggest fear, so I prepared. I made a list of 10 common conversation topics: my work, my hobbies, my city, my family, travel, food, movies, music, my goals, daily life. I practiced talking about these topics alone first. So when someone asked me, I was ready. Then I took the big step. I joined online groups where people practice English. Apps like Hello Talk, Discord servers, Facebook groups. At first, I made so many mistakes. Sometimes people didn't understand me, but nobody laughed, nobody was mean. People were there to learn, just like me. After 2 months, I made real friends. From America, from England, from Canada. We chatted online. We did video calls. They corrected my mistakes. I learned from them. And I wasn't scared anymore. This is the mindset. Learning is social. You cannot learn a language completely alone. You need real conversations, real connections. The moment I made it. One morning, about 5 months after my failed interview, I woke up thinking in English, without trying, without forcing it. It just happened naturally. I looked in the mirror and said to myself, "Today is going to be a good day. I feel ready." Later that day, I joined a video call with American friends. They were talking fast, making jokes, using slang, and I understood everything. I laughed at the right moments. I added my own thoughts. I made a joke and everyone laughed. I wasn't translating anymore. I wasn't searching for words. I was just talking, like a normal person having a normal conversation. That's when I knew. I did it. I became fluent. The second interview. Success. 5 months after my first failed interview, I got another chance. Different company, same type of position, same dream. But this time, I was a completely different person. I walked into that Zoom interview with confidence. There were 3 interviewers again, all Americans. They asked me questions. I understood them clearly. No panic, no frozen mind. They asked, "Diego, tell us about yourself and your marketing experience." I smiled and spoke. "Hi, thank you for having me today. I'm Diego. I'm 28, and I've been working in marketing for about 5 years. I specialize in digital campaigns and brand strategy. In my current role, I've worked with several international clients and I've helped increase their online engagement by an average of 40%. Clear, confident, natural. They asked more questions about campaigns I worked on, about challenges I faced, about my creative process, and I answered all of them. Not perfectly. I still made some small mistakes, but I communicated my ideas clearly. I told stories, I gave examples, I even made them laugh. The conversation flowed naturally. It felt good. It felt right. At the end, instead of, "We'll let you know," one of them said, "Diego, we're really impressed. Your English is great, and your experience is exactly what we're looking for. Welcome to the team." I couldn't believe it. 5 months ago, I couldn't finish one sentence. Now, I just got my dream job at an international company in New York. Salary, $8,000 a month. When I got off that call, I just sat there. My eyes were full of tears. But this time, they were tears of joy. I did it. When I received my first paycheck, I sent money to my parents to fix their house. The roof had been leaking for 2 years. I bought my father a new fishing rod. He loved fishing, but his old rod was broken. I bought my mother beautiful shoes she had been looking at for months. When I told them, they both started crying on the phone. My mother said, "Diego, you didn't have to do this." And I said, "Yes, I did. Thank you for always believing in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. This success is ours." My father said quietly, "We are so proud of you, son." And in that moment, I understood. It was all worth it. Every struggle, every late night practicing alone, every moment of frustration, every time I felt like giving up, it was all worth it. Key lessons. Now let me share the most important lessons I learned. 1. Mindset is everything. Most people fail because they believe they can't do it. I used to think the same way. English is too hard. I'm too old. I don't have talent. But the moment I changed my mindset, everything changed. I stopped saying, "I am bad at English." I started saying, "I am improving every day." Your brain believes what you tell it. If you keep saying, "I can't," your brain will find reasons why it's true. If you say, "I'm getting better," your brain will help you find ways to improve. 2. Surround yourself with English. I made English part of my daily life, not something I studied for 1 hour and forgot about. I changed my phone's language to English. I watched only English content. I listened to English songs. I followed English-speaking influencers on social media. Every single day, I was feeding my brain with English. I also started thinking in English. Whenever I looked at something, I named it in English in my head. I saw a car. That's a blue car. It's moving fast. Small things like this helped me build vocabulary naturally. 3. Speaking without fear. Many people are afraid of making mistakes. They wait until they're ready to speak. But here's the truth. You will never feel completely ready, and if you wait, you will never start. I used to be scared, but then I realized native speakers don't care if you make mistakes. They care if you try. So I forced myself to speak, but I didn't stop. I spoke first and corrected later. I spoke to shopkeepers. I asked strangers for directions. I joined online groups, and yes, I made mistakes. So many mistakes. But every mistake taught me something. The more I spoke, the better I became. 4. Active listening and shadowing. Listening is just as important as speaking. I trained my ears every day. Podcasts while cooking, audiobooks while walking, even English videos before bed. But I didn't just listen. I repeated. I shadowed every word. I'd listen to one sentence, then say it right after. Same rhythm, same tone, same feeling. At first it was hard. I couldn't keep up. But with time, my tongue started to move faster, my ears caught more details, and my accent began to sound more natural. Shadowing changed everything. It turned listening into action. It made English flow, not just in my head, but in my voice. 5. Learn vocabulary in context. At first, I thought the secret was memorizing long lists of words. I filled pages and pages in my notebook. But after a few days, I forgot almost everything. It felt useless. Then I realized that words don't live alone. They live in sentences, in real situations. So I stopped memorizing single words and started learning phrases. Instead of just happy, I learned, I feel so happy today. That movie made me really happy. Instead of angry, I learned, he got angry at me for being late. When I learned this way, the words stayed. I could remember them, use them, and sound more natural. Learning in context made English real, not just something I studied, but something I used. 6. Consistency over perfection. Some people try to learn everything perfectly before they start speaking. That's a huge mistake. I didn't wait until I was perfect. I started speaking from day one. Even when I only knew 50 sentences, I used them. I made a rule. Every single day, I will do something in English. Some days, I spoke for 10 minutes. Some days, I wrote one paragraph. Some days, I listened to one podcast. The key was consistency. Small actions repeated every day create big results over time. 7. Think like a learner. Act like a doer. Learning English isn't just about reading books or watching lessons. It's about using it every single day. I stopped waiting for study time and started living in English. I ordered coffee in English. I left comments on YouTube in English. I even talked to myself in English when no one was around. I realized that learning happens faster when you do something with the language. So I made a rule for myself. Every day, no matter what, I must use English, not just learn it. Because the truth is, progress doesn't come from studying perfectly. It comes from doing consistently. Final message. You don't need expensive classes. You don't need to move to America. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need two things: a strong desire and daily practice. Imagine yourself 6 months from now, speaking English fluently, confidently. Imagine getting your dream job. Imagine the opportunities that will open up. Imagine how proud you will feel. That future is possible, but only if you start today. If I can do it, you can do it too. It doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter how bad you think your English is right now. What matters is that you start today, right now. I know it's hard. I know it feels impossible sometimes. I know there will be days when you want to give up. But trust me, the only thing standing between you and fluency is consistency. Stop doubting yourself. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. Surround yourself with English. Speak it. Listen to it. Read it. Write it. Every single day. Make mistakes. Learn from them. Improve. Because here's the truth. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. What does that mean? Yes, it's hard to practice every day. Yes, it's uncomfortable to make mistakes. Yes, it's frustrating when you don't understand. But that discomfort is temporary. It lasts for a few months. But the pain of regret? That lasts forever. Imagine yourself 5 years from now, still in the same place, still unable to speak English, still missing opportunities. That pain is much worse than the temporary discomfort of learning. So, what will you choose? The temporary pain of discipline or the permanent pain of regret? I chose discipline, and it changed my life completely. You can make the same choice right now, today. Your journey to fluency starts now. Action plan. Let me tell you exactly what to do. You don't need magic. You just need action to learn English in 5 months. Starts with today. Today, do these 3 things. Step 1. Write your survival sentences. Take a notebook or open your phone. Spend 30 minutes writing down the English sentences you actually use every day. Things like, "Hi, how are you? Can you help me? I don't understand." Don't just copy random phrases. Write what fits your life, your job, your school, your daily routine. By the end, you'll have 50 sentences, your personal English survival kit. Step 2. Talk to yourself in English. Yes, really. Just talk. 10 minutes. No fear, no grammar checking. Just speak. Describe what's around you. I'm sitting at my desk. I'm watching a video about learning English. I feel motivated. I want to get better. At first, it feels weird, like talking to the air. But after a few days, it becomes natural. It's the fastest way to build fluency. Step 3. Pick 5 words and build a story. Any 5 words. Cat, rain, dream, coffee, street. Write a short story with them. It doesn't have to be perfect, just fun. Then read it out loud 10 times. Feel your mouth move. Hear your voice. That's how your brain learns faster. That's it. 3 simple actions. If you do these today, you've already started. You're already ahead of most people who just watch and never take action. This week, do a little more. In the morning, talk to yourself for 10 minutes. In the evening, practice asking and answering questions for 20 minutes. Every day, shadow one video. Repeat what the speaker says, copy their rhythm, their tone. At night, write for 5 minutes about your day, what you did, what you learned, what you want tomorrow. That's 50 minutes a day, less than 1 hour. Everyone has 1 hour. After 6 months of consistent practice, everything starts to change. You'll notice your words coming out more easily. Sentences will flow without you having to translate in your head. You'll understand native speakers faster, not just their words, but their tone, their rhythm, their meaning. Conversations that once felt scary will start to feel natural. You'll finally be able to express your thoughts, your ideas, your personality in English. You'll feel more confident at work, in meetings, when traveling, or even chatting with friends online. And from that confidence, new opportunities will open in your career, in your studies, and in your life. 6 months may not sound like much, but with daily effort, it's enough to change how you think, how you speak, and how you see yourself. All it takes is consistency. One small step every single day. There will be days when you feel tired and think you're not improving. But don't stop. Those are the moments that build you. Every small step adds up. Every word you speak, every video you watch, every note you write. It's all part of your journey. If I could do it, you can too. I was scared, I made mistakes, I started from zero. But I showed up every day, so believe in yourself the same way. Because every time you open your mouth, you move closer to the life you want. And remember, your English journey starts now, not someday, now. Let's do this together. I believe in you. Now go. Start practicing, and don't stop until you reach your goal. You got this. If this story inspired you, like this video and subscribe. Leave a comment and tell me, which tip will you try first?